As society pushes forward into the 21st century, people are focusing less and less on material objects and more on the one thing that can be used to obtain any and all of those objects: money. Today, everything and everyone is influenced by money. Money pays for the rent in your crappy apartment, money pays for the crappy manipulated food you eat, and money pays for many of the things that make you happy. Money, by design, is supposed to make our lives easier. It allows for people to make the trades that would have been otherwise much more difficult to enact. Instead of working for food, water, and other necessities, humans decided to work for money as a way of obtaining necessary items and services. Human beings created money and in turn pulled themselves into a world full of technological advancements, effective medicinal practices, efficacious transportation, dynamic academic systems, and properly enforced safety regulations.
Although money has allowed for a substantial amount of progression,
Money has also caused some fairly traumatic occurrences around the globe. Disagreements over money began almost hereditarily. Money has been fought over, and it has been the reason fighting can become so devastating. With increasingly augmented combat gear and weaponry, as well as new advances in the air and space field, militaristic actions have never been easier performed or as expensive as they are now. Money gives people the ability to fund wars and has given the United States the ability to be the reigning powerhouse it is today. Possessing money has quickly evolved into a greed for money, turning once noble rulers into global tyrants. Money allowed empires to rise and thrive, creating some of the greatest and most terrifying leaders the world has ever seen. Dictators and emperors like Napoleon Bonaparte, Adolf Hitler, Julius Caesar, and Genghis Khan all gained land because of their properly funded militaristic efforts and the ability to put more money into those lands that they have seized. Today, money influences everyone's daily decisions: what to dress or how to dress, what to eat and how to eat, even the decision about what you will do with your day, are all affected by how much money you have. Without money, partaking in daily activities is difficult. It can be difficult to find food and shelter, almost impossible to stay clean, and the daily discrimination poorer people receive is ridiculous. A shocking 90% of people in the world only have about 30% of the total amount of money that there even is available. On the other side, people with money get to have a stronger voice in society, as well as full health benefits and social opportunities that others do not receive. They are able to lead lives that are palatial, deluxe, and often upscale. The richest 1% of the world's population currently controls 48% of the world's total wealth available. These are staggering statistics. Money clearly creates a barrier between the rich and the poor, and this barrier is exactly what capitalism wants. It wants the poor to want to be rich and to work hard to obtain wealth. But is money having adverse effects on our psychological health? Many studies have shown that in the presence of money, people will often act in abnormal and unacceptable ways. Researchers from Harvard and the University of Utah found that study participants were more likely to lie or behave immorally after being exposed to money-related words. Another article put in the Psychological Science explains the behavior that people who perceive themselves to be in higher classes exhibit. They call it self-interest maximization. This idea suggests that those who occupy higher classes and have higher amounts of wealth are more likely to take a what's in it for me attitude. Wealthy people actively work toward the most benefit for themselves in the study, meaning they do not take into account other people, making people who are more focused on money appear to be more ignorant and pompous. Money is everywhere. Some people have a lot of it and choose to spend absurdly, while some have none and are subverted to the lives of chagrin and degradation. Clearly, everyone on earth idolizes money, though. Things like Snap Cash, debit cards and credit cards, checks, PayPal, Bitcoin, stocks and bonds, and the diverse amounts of liquid cash ranging from the small change to big bills can all make spending currency very tempting. Add to that the barrage of advertisements pushing for people to use every penny they can in every way possible, and the average consumer can find themselves in a world full of tempting purchases. Buying things is not a bad thing, though. But using the American holiday Black Friday, for example, one can see the havoc that money can cause. A holiday that was designed to make the shopping for Christmas easier on people's wallets has in recent years turned into a scene full of angry shoppers stampeding to get the best deals possible. In recent years, several shoppers have succumbed to their deaths while stampeding into different stores participating in Black Friday sales, showing that people's love of material items and spending money on them is more important than protecting a human life. People must begin to see that money is not a reason to change into a different person. In fact, money has certainly shown that it has the propensity to do very good things when in the proper hands. Bill Gates has donated over $8 billion towards global health research. Mark Zuckerberg has donated nearly $1 billion towards different community foundations. So there are obviously some good people in the world, but most likely the richest people in the world are spending their earnings on the things that are for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, that is what capitalism entails. But if the global middle class average bottoms out at about $10 a day, then what does that say about the richest people and their frivolous spending? Obviously, poverty is not a good thing. People need to be able to pay for basic necessities such as food, water, and shelter. Sadly, there is no direct correlation between wealth and happiness. After a certain level of income that can take care of basic needs and relieve strain, some say $50,000 to $75,000 a year, wealth makes hardly any difference to overall well-being and happiness. If anything, wealth only harms well-being at this point. Money itself doesn't lead to dissatisfaction. It is the ceaseless attempt to gain wealth and material possessions that leads to unhappiness. Basically, money is no reason to be unhappy, nor is it a reason to be happy. It is a tool that should benefit people's lives and make them easier. In order for the world to effectively reduce poverty, countries need to focus not only on achieving growth as an end in itself, but also on implementing policies that allocate resources to the poor, including raising income growth among the bottom 40% of earners. With that said, people must also keep a steady eye on any person getting too carried away with their wealth, for this can cause an egotistical and parsimonious attitude towards life, which is not favorable either. Money is extremely powerful, for it can cause a firestorm of emotions inside of a person. Because of this, money must be kept in the hands of an educated and wary person. People need money, but they do not need it to the point that it has gotten. At some point, after it is ensured a person will live happily and healthily, all of a person's earned wealth should be given away to a greater cause in order to benefit society. This would be the perfect world.